Over this last week, there's been a man on the EUNE servers stomping his way through Diamond Games on Twisted Fate. This man is Gross Gore. Now, for longer than I can remember, Gross Gore has been extremely passionate about reaching Master Tier. Probably the most passionate I've ever seen in my life.
It's time to go grind off stream and get Master Tier and prove the whole long community I was right from the goddamn start.
So obviously today I'm going to be going over one of Gross Gore's games on Twisted Fate. I really want to talk about his claim of being the best Twisted Fate in the world and compare him to, in my opinion, who the best Twisted Fate in the world is, and that's Apto. I think it's awesome because I reviewed hundreds of Apto games and I can really talk about the discrepancies in playstyles, talk about what Apto does differently to Gross Gore, and kind of compare them to each other. So jumping into the game, I'll be reviewing. It was a 30-minute Twisted Fate game, looking at the runes, standard TF rune page, 9 Magic Pen Reds, 9 Magic Resist Blues, 9 Scaling Health Yellows, and 3 MS Quints. It's a standard TF rune page, making sure to get that MS Quints, sorry, just to make sure you have alpha movement speed. You can really get good spacing, you can get your gold cards off, and chase down the enemy carries. One thing that did jump out to me for Gross Gore is his mastery page. I think it's extremely inefficient. It's gonna lead to losses. It's gonna lead to a much weaker laning phase than he should have on Twisted Fate. He goes for the exposed weakness. I don't know any LCS mid laner that goes exposed weakness. It really is ruining your laning phase because Twisted Fate has no sustain in lane. If you don't have Feast or even 1 point in Vamp, you're gonna have no regen of health except for your base regen, which is just fuck all. I think that if he wants to really become serious about mid laning, having a strong laning phase, he should put 1 point in Feast and then 1 point in Vamp. Other than that, he goes for 3 points. He goes for full maxed out Wanderer. I really don't like this. You see some solo queue players go this, but not many. I think going Savagery for the minion damage to get the push on. Twisted Fate is a roamer. You want to make sure you're getting pushes. You want to make sure that you can push the lane in. Then you're going to have the enemy has no vision of you, so you can go to the side lanes without kind of being pressured out. Going Wanderer is definitely going to make your laning phase weaker. You're going to miss more CS, and I definitely think he should swap this out. Other than that, the only thing that really gets me is he goes Ghost like 90% of the games. I really don't think he should be going Ghost. For a game like such as this into a Syndra, there's pretty much every other summon that's better. Exhaust is probably the best. Heal, Cleanse, you can go Barrier, Ignite to go aggressive into it, but Ghost, just don't go Ghost into something like a Syndra who wants to bully you out in the laning phase. So that's about it. That's all I want to talk about for that, so let's get straight into the game. Alright, so starting out, I want to talk about the starting items for Gross Gore, which is Doran's Ring 2 potions into Syndra. Now, Twisted Fate, such as Apto, such as Yukal, who both hit rank 1 on the Korean server, both go boots 4 potions into this matchup, and into a lot of the skill shot dependent matchups. Now, this is so that, I mean, champions such as Ahri, Zed, Xerath, just things that they depend on your early skill shots. So if you're dodging these out, their laning phase really has no dominance, and you can start trading more aggressively, duking out all of their skill shots. If you go for the Doran's 2 potions, I expect you to go Ignite. I expect you to go for level 2, level 3 all-ins and get kills. So it looks like Gragas is going to be starting the Wraith camp. As Twisted Fate, it's kind of nice. You can get a nice leash. You can get an auto into a red card. Gives a little bit of damage off, but you got to make sure you do it quick so they can get to lane. Doesn't get the auto and actually is about a 1 second off. So right now you need to be stepping into the lane, starting to pressure out. Spacing in and out. What? Might have been lagging there. Alright, so starting out to the laning phase, goes to the red card. Some of the times you can get all those 3 minions with a red card. That time, unfortunately not. People such as Apto are already aggressive into this matchup. Now, even though a lot of the time you're not trading, on Twisted Fate, you always want to be pacing back and forth, always moving in and out of the Syndra Q range. So you always want to be clicking forward and backwards continuously during this laning phase. Pre-6, you can dictate this laning phase, the pace of it. You can really take control if you dodge out a lot of the Qs. As soon as Syndra does hit level 6 though, you need to be respective of it. Hopefully you're coming into your Merc Treads where she can't get the all-in burst. Syndra's Q is it's a 4-second cooldown early on, so you need to be aware of this. If she Qs, you have a 4-second window where you can move in, while the E is on a 16-second cooldown. So if she does go for the EQ combo, the QE combo, sorry, and misses it, You have a 16-second window where she doesn't have her E up. There's going to be no stun. You can play aggressive as you like. Moves in for that trade. See right there, you need to be aware of the cooldown of that Q. He moves back in when the cooldown's just about to pop up. People such as Apto know this cooldown. They would never go back in for that trade knowing the Q's up. If they do go back in, it's for a trade. They move extremely aggressively and dodge out the Q. A lot of the time into the Syndra, you can space and walk backwards as though you're gonna play defensive. Then you go move in, play really aggressive. They throw their Q behind you and they actually miss it. I guess the one thing I noticed in this laning phase is Gross Gore is spacing so far back that he's pretty much telegraphing to the Syndra, hey, I'm not going to be trading. You can take full control of this lane. I'm your bitch. I'm not going to be doing anything that's going to pressure you out. In reality, you can get solo kills in this matchup. I've seen it done before. It's not that hard to do. You just need to make sure that you're moving in and out of the spacing. He's out of mana here. Mainly due to, because he's been so far out of range, he can't even get his autos off. He's been forced to throw his Qs out to get the minions rather than getting autos. Now, like the number one thing that when I was becoming a pro mid laner that I was taught was always try and make sure that your skill shots are towards the enemy champion and your autos are for the minions, not the other way around. You really don't want to be using all of your skill shots on the creeps. It's such a waste of trading potential. See, on this cannon right here, it's so obvious the Syndra's going to be going for the cannon. Move in, go for the auto on the cannon. Good juke out. Every single time the Syndra goes for the minions, bad trade. You have to realize the Syndra is going to be looking for those EQs. Now, every single time the Syndra goes to auto a creep, you need to be making sure you're looking for those Qs because she's going to be standing still. You need to be making sure that you're pacing back, forth, pressuring her. Even though you may not go for the trade, you need to make sure you're putting in her head, hey, maybe I'm going to go for this trade. Now, he bases here at 5 minutes, which is a pretty horrendous base. The next creep wave is actually a cannon creep wave. Why'd he base? If he stood there out of vision, he could have cleaned the wave. He could have got that full wave, then based. The next wave is actually a cannon minion wave. The Syndra's out of mana. She's not going to be able to push it. So he gives an entire wave there for no reason. See, it's small things like this that really separate these high diamond players from challenger players. Just specific. It's not as though it's not as Twisted Fate knowledge. It's his actual mid lane game knowledge. It's why if you put someone such as a random pro player on Twisted Fate, they'd probably be able to beat Gross Gore out, mainly just because of their actual lane knowledge, rather than just the specific matchup knowledge. Goes for the shove here. He's almost level 6. Always be aware on Twisted Fate. When you're coming to level 6, make sure you've got enough mana to get into the side lane straight away. Infernal drops to the lead, which is good. Gross Gore comes in. Looks for that bot lane in the river. He's playing towards the Gragas, which is nice. The Syndra's on a ward here. They could actually collapse. Ward's back. Great. Cuts off their escape route. Perfect. They pick up the kill onto the Syndra. Now this is going to tell me what Gross Gore knows. He needs to make sure that he's pushing in and pressuring in this lead now. You have a couple decisions you can make. You can go, okay, I want some tower damage, or I want to pressure out the top lane. I want to pressure out the bot lane. Now, even if you're only getting summoner spells in the top of bot, these are huge advantages for those lanes. He expends a bit of mana pushing, goes to the base instead. One thing I haven't touched on yet is his build path. He's gone for Sheen. I mean, what can I say about a Sheen? I think going for a Lichbane rush is incredibly bad. It's mostly what you see Plat players go, Gold players go. They go for Lichbane. It's a bit of fun. It gives you a nice window of about 5 minutes where you're in a nice little spike. But other than that, Rod of the Ages into Lichbane is always going to outscale it. It's going to give you much more playstyles, much more room for... you can get caught by skill shots. You're not going to get blown up as much in the mid to late game, especially in this Ardent meta. You have to realize in this Ardent meta, AD carries are dishing out so much deeps that if you have no health, 2-3 autos, you get exploded. Lisa in here looking for the wraparound. I think Gross knows. When you're versing Twisted Fates as the mid laner, Lee Sin, Rek'Sai are notorious for that gank path. Always try and get that ward over onto the Wraith camp. Has to blow his flash for it. It's a good escape with the flash, it's fine, but he should have been aware. Right here, getting zoned out. He's still behind by 10 CS. Whereas the Gragas comes in again. Gragas is doing fucking work, man. Good job. Wait, that's a solo kill from Gragas. Alright, Gross Gore's ultimate is still down for another 20 or 30 or so. He can probably just shove this, try and get the Merc Treads by. He may not have enough though, because he didn't get an assist on that. Please don't Q. Oh. He keeps blowing his Qs, man, so his mana is always about 25%. This mana problem is actually going to be a massive issue. It limits your options for making plays right now. Gragas is doing the second blue. Is he going to gift it? As a Twisted Fate, I'm always begging for these blues. Jungle takes it. That's so frustrating. It's going to limit what Gross Gore can do over the next 2 or 3 minutes because Syndra is most likely going to get that blue. Where is the enemy blue? What time was that? What was the time? Did Lee Sin take it? Or did, oh, maybe Gragas had it on that kill. I didn't see. But see how these Qs? Gross keeps throwing his Qs out, but it's going to make his mana too low that he can't ultimate across onto the sideline of the map. Twisted Fate's ult 150 mana. It's actually quite a lot, so you really need to be cautious of throwing Qs out for no reason. Forces him into a base. Alright, here we go. Merc Treads. That's a good buy from Gross. It's good knowledge in the Syndra matchup. Getting Merc Treads really makes sure that you can, even if you do get nicked by a stun, it doesn't really last for very long, and it means you can move in, get your gold card off, maybe blow a cleanse. The Gragas is wrapping it around again. Holy fuck. Is this Syndra gonna die again? Gifted, I kill. Okay. Gross, you have been given everything in this game to succeed. Your lane opponent should be an ant at this point. What's he gonna do? He has ultimate up. Top lane is ungankable. Bot lane, in about 15 seconds, you can gank bot. So the best option, push tower. That should have been a blue card. Drops the gold card. I don't know why he expend his mana for no reason a lot of time. At least he's going for the kill. He actually saw that bot lane rotating the river with that vision there, so it's fine. He should know not to turn back in. What are my thoughts of this early game, this first 10 minutes or so? Number one is that he's not confident enough in his movements in this matchup. Number two is he expends too much mana for no reason. Number three would just be his movements. He's moving very bad. He's not clicking enough in the game. I can already tell that he's not continuously clicking back and forth. His APM's low. His ultimate's been up for a while now, yet he can't use it because of the mana. See this Q right there? Like, you don't need to throw that Q. That can be an auto into a blue card. Gets the base off on the cannon minion. It's not... if you're a mid laner, you always want to base on cannon minions to make sure the enemy mid struggles to push it. It takes them longer to do. He throws in a cheeky dance, going for the Lich. Would like to see a refillable potion out from him, but I'm not sure. Okay, now is your time to shine. Get your bot lane ahead, snowball. Bot lane, tower, Drake. Take over the game. Your bot lane switches top. Get the Rift Herald. Rift mid. Just, you need to get the tempo extremely high as a Twisted Fate. See these Qs? He's already half mana, man. Oh, God. It's frustrating to watch. Because right now, all he has is one rotation for the bot lane. If he doesn't get the one rotation kill, the second rotation, you don't have enough mana. Syndra misses in the stun. He has a level advantage. You've got Mercs and you've got the Sheen. Move in. Move confidently right now. Right there, move in. Gold card, Q, E. Juke out the stun, then you've got kill pressure. Why is this... 2 level advantage is way too passive, man. Holy shit. Okay. So this just tells me he has no confidence in himself. He needs to man up. You've got 2 level advantage. You've got item advantage. Everything is in your favor right now. Go for the trade. Be confident. You can solo kill. Right there. Move in. Q. E. Could have got solo kill there. He has flash. All you need to do is flash at the stun. You have Merc, so the full combo burst is not going to kill you. Throws at the Qs. I think he should be fine here. Move in right there, Q. Look at this. See that damage right there? He could have been doing that 30, 40 seconds ago, setting himself up for kills, meaning that she can't move into the river for that to help get the kill onto the Sona. I mean, it's just these little things that add up. And it's always these little things that differentiate Diamond players from Challenger players. It's the little things that all add up. When people ask me the difference between Diamond and Challenger, I can't pinpoint, okay, it's this, it's this. It's everything. Challenger players do everything better than Diamond. That's as simple as that. Every aspect of the game. He should have the Lich Bane upgrade now. Instead stays. Does he get this? Does Gragas give him this blue or no? Alright, so I've got to give him some leeway. The Gragas is taking blue buffs. As a mid laner, this is one of the most tilting things. Especially for Gross because he has issues controlling his mana. This is going to lead to massive problems. I think it's been about 5 minutes now where I think Gross has used his ult once, right? For the Syndra kill early on. Every other time it's been impossible because he's been too low on mana or the lanes has been in a really bad spot. Alright, so Gragas should gift him this blue. He's ghosted. He can order that down. Get it? What was that? Sunfire maybe. I don't think Gragas meant to take that. Flash over. Straight line flash. Right there, you hug the wall, you flash over the terrain, back into your team. Instead, he flashes away from his team with a straight line flash. Just a rookie mistake there. Probably just flashed in the moment, wasn't really paying attention, but once again, it's those little things, man. How's this team doing? So bot lanes are behind. Top lane is somewhat ahead. The Nah is actually got the Grievous. He should be able to start winning at that matchup extremely hard. Outsplitting the Trundle. Gragas is somewhat behind, but it's Gragas into Lee, so it's always going to scale much better. You can body block a lot of the Lee Sin. Caitlyn, Sona is a decent bot lane, but I would say it's not as strong as Xayah Rakan that has a lead into the Ardent Rush. Alright, so Gross has his Lich Bane. Now, although this Lich Bane, in my opinion, is extremely bad, it does give you a nice 5-minute window. You have a 5-minute window to take control of the game, get that high tempo, pace the game extremely fast, take every objective, all the side lanes, and start going for the Rift and close out the game. Now, if you don't do anything with this Lich Bane in the next 5 minutes, it's horrible buy. You should have went Road of the Ages Lich into an Hourglass. Instead of having, you know, you can go up into about 2.4k health with a full stacked Rod of the Ages with scaling health yellows on Twisted Fate. So you're actually quite tanky on Twisted Fate if you go for the Rod of the Ages build, which is why pretty much every Korean goes it. It scales well. It means you're never going to get blown up. You have more room for error. Less errors means more consistency. Consistency leads to you winning more games and you climbing. That's why Apto gets rank 1 so easily. He's probably the most consistent solo queue player in the world. Very rarely has bad games. Opposite ult there. Doesn't really get anything. I think they can win that 2v. Gragas doesn't have flash, so he kind of pulls back. Gross doesn't have summoners. I mean, they're playing it really cautiously, but I mean, Gross has been gifted. The Syndra's died, what, 3 times now, and Gross has the level advantage. I think he needs to really throw some balls and take control of the game. Another thing I didn't see Gross doing in lane was hovering your cards. Every single time he just instantly pulled cards. On, say, it's a cannon wave. Your cannon's getting low for the Syndra to auto. You just hover your cards. Every single time the gold card runs through, you move up like you're gonna pull it. Move back, move up on the next gold card like you're gonna pull it, then move back. Then you pull the blue card to refund the mana. But you make sure you're always pressuring your lane opponent. Like Korean players are always pressuring in laning phase. Like even if they're not gonna put the pressure on, they make sure that they're spacing in the lane by moving back and forth, moving weirdly, juking out, is always putting pressure on. Instead, he sits so far back that there's no pressure at all. Syndra dictates it, even when he has the advantage. Enemy bot has quite a lead. They're going to be putting us onto the map. Gross can't do anything about it. What could he have done about it? He should have asserted his lead into the bot lane earlier on. Conserved his mana a bit. Got the ultimate away. Got the ultimate. Can I act? What the fuck is wrong with me? I can't speak. Got the ultimate out and blown some summoners. I swear as I stream more and more and record more and more, I'm just turning into Tyler 1, man. I don't know what it is. Alright, so approaching the 20-minute mark. CS is exactly the same. He has like, what, a 5 CS lead? If he can get the shove in for the second tower, it'd be quite nice. Right now, pressure the tower. He's so late to this river. Okay, so do you see right there? His decision was it was late. You either early go for that trade onto the dragon, or you commit for the tower. Instead, he doesn't commit for the tower. He doesn't commit for the dragon. He commits to nothing. It's just not. You need to make these decisions extremely quickly. A challenger player right there, commit for the tower early. Boom, tower. Or they say, okay, I'm not going to go for the tower. I'm going to go for the dragon and go for it. You don't play it really slow and do nothing. You need to make the decision early, make it quick, and do it with confidence. Alright, this top lane matchup's probably going to determine the game. If this Gnar gets huge and can start steamrolling over the Trundle, I think he can actually out-pressure and out-split. The Trundle brings some pressure across. Twisted Fate's great like that because if the enemy team tries to collapse, Gross can help him out. Cleans the camp up, I like it. As Twisted Fate, always take this camp. Nah, drops. I don't think Gross's last ultimate was useless. So his use of ultimate in this game has been abysmal. And see right now. Oh man, see this is right now he's sharing XP, farm, everything with their bot lane. You really need to transition into a side lane right now. You staying mid is useless. You should have already dropped the mid lane tower. As soon as you drop that mid lane tower, rotate to a side lane, start pressuring out, then going to cut across with your ult. Alright, enemy team's looking for the Baron. It's a 21-minute Baron with no tank. I would say this is iffy. My rule is, if it's before 25, you have no tank, don't do Baron. Unless you have some type of shredder, don't do it. Barons always lead to throws. Looks like the enemy team is going to do exactly that. Oh man, the typical solo queue Baron throw. The enemy team did not need to do that. They should have baited it with vision. Oh, that tilts me. Alright, so Gross goes for the Luden's Echo, which is, once again, I would say that going for the Hourglass is much better. You can dodge out Syndra ult. If the Lee goes for the kick, you can dodge out that. Rakan goes for the engage. It's just a better buy overall, leading to more efficient outcomes. What does Luden's Echo gives? It gives you more damage, more movement speed. Is it necessary? I don't think so, no. It means he can't quite engage yet. You need the Hourglass if you want to get a deep engage on with a flank and a gold card. The Caitlyn can't be in the side lane. Gross has to be in the side lane with their bot lane mid, in the short lane. If your bot lanes is going to these longer lanes against things like Syndra, Lee, Trundle, who just chase them down, you can't do it. I mean, you're a Twisted Fate. You have pretty good disengage. You have really good movement speed. You should be in the side lane now. You should be able to clear that wave with ease. What is this Lee Sin doing? Oh, it's such a typical Lee Sin. I bet you he probably called the Baron as well. Alright, well the enemy team has thrown everything they had. Now Gross has Baron. They have a TF, a Kate, who are just going to siege up this whole base. Beautiful. Now watch how he plays it. As Twisted Fate, you really want to make sure you're spacing correctly with your 80 carry on these tower sieges. You don't really want to be pulling your card early. If you see the enemy positioning for an engage, just sit with your 80 carry and hover the gold. Gets the blue onto the Syndra. He has a lot of damage. Done fail engages. Calmed up. Get that tower, Gross. Get that tower. Nice. I'd probably disengage right now. I think it's a bit of an overstay. Takes the camp. Good job. What is he? He's about 8.9 CS per minute or something like that. It's pretty decent. He's on track for 10 CS per minute if he keeps up the side laning over the next 10 minutes. 40 CS lead on his opponent now with a huge XP advantage. He's really in control of the game. The problem is, he's not asserting this lead. I can't see him asserting it at all. He's playing it like he's even with his opponent. Alright, so finally he's going into the Hourglass. Now, the Dark Seal buy, I mean, you don't want to be upgrading that to a Soul Stealer in a game like this, especially being extremely squishy. Soul Stealer is pretty inefficient. The main time you're going to go Soul Stealer is when you're not really you're not looking to close the game out in the next 5 or 10 minutes. Right now, Gross Gore's team wants to close the game out in the next 5 or 10, 100%. He also needs a Void Staff. Look at the MR on the enemy team. Lee Sin's got a Hex. Rakan's going to start building towards a Locket now. Syndra's got Mercs. You need Void Staff next. Also need Control Wards. I'd probably sell off the Dorans. Get a Control Ward. Shoving into the side lane. I mean, his lane allocation is not too bad, actually. It's not too bad. The main thing that's let me down this game is his early laning phase and his spacing and trading in the laning. Alright, he didn't need an ult there either. Definitely did not. He could have just chased that down. That means he would have had ultimate for the next fight, especially for an inhib siege. Pops Ghost as well. Bit of an overcommitment there, but I guess he maybe wasn't too sure. It's for an Infernal secure, so you want to do what it you want to do everything you can to secure that Infernal. Oh my, this Lee Sin, man. I hate getting Lee Sins in this meta. It's such a bad pick. Unless you snowball the game really early on, it's so bad compared to these tanks like Sejuani, Gragas. Good by Gross. He lets those cards run through, just making sure he doesn't pull the gold card too early. That's good. They should reset now. I think they'll all be going to be sitting on quite a lot of gold. Gross goes to the top lane farm, shares it with the Gnar. I mean, if they want to stay, they have to stay grouped. Instead, they space out. I mean, you only had to send one top there for that farm. You didn't even need to send anyone. You should just reset. You can probably go into a... what? Gnar's got TP. So you want to send 3 top now. Gross Gore's mid pressuring in. Gnar's bot. Then Gross pushes the mid, making sure someone has to answer. Then he rotates across top and they siege. Whilst Gnar's pressuring in on that bot lane tower. Pretty basic. We'll see what he does. Sell this Doran's for a Blasting Wand and a Elixir. It should be the buy here. Don't go Soul Stealer. Alright. He refunded it. Sell Doran's, Blasting Wand. You need a Void. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, dude, I really dislike this build path. It's doing my head in. You need a Void Staff ASAP. Look at the Trundle. Look how much MI he's getting. He's got Mercs. He's going into a Spirit Visage. Rakan's already going into his Locket. You need some magic penetration. Soul Stealer is like a mid-game. Like if you can get the Soul Stealer around about 20 minutes in a game that's looking like it's going to go on for another 10 or 15, and you can really confidently say you're not going to die, it's not that bad of a build. But when you're squishy like this, and Lee Sin can easily get a kickoff and do a Syndra Burst, you die with that Soul Stealer, holy fuck, that's a money sink, and it's really inefficient. I guarantee you these build paths are costing him games. I guarantee it. Alright, so he's pathing bot side here. I would prefer him path top side. Okay. Right now, look at the wave. This bot lane is going to push anyway. When you're bot, you can't actually port across onto your team. Why is he bot lane? Dude, if you're in top lane, you can be top. You can even pressure in for their close. Oh, this... He's top now. He's pressuring in top tower. He's pressuring the close. Okay, he goes for the port in for the close anyway. If this team's smart, he can end it, but I still think that like allocating yourself topside is much better, just because you can actually help out your team with the ult. Does he get it? I actually think he might get this. I mean, it's a pretty good decision. He sees the opportunity and he goes, "Fuck yeah, I'm gonna go for the end." As a Twisted Fate, you always have to be confident that you can go for these closes. Sometimes in unwinnable games, you get wins just from doing this backdoor. Questionable flash, but... Alright, well, it worked out. Perfect. I mean, look. So for Gross Gore, I think I can tell his Twisted Fate is good, as in his Twisted Fate knowledge of the champion is good. His actual mid lane itself, however, is lacking, and that's what's going to differentiate himself from being Diamond and being Challenger. He really needs to step up his early laning phase, his actual mid lane knowledge. How is he going to do that? He needs to, he needs to go and watch Apto. He needs to watch actual mid laners go and play probably like 10 or 20 VODs and really take notes of what they do that he doesn't, because he's really missing out on a lot of those early game trades. He could have got solo kills in that laning phase. His build path was pretty inefficient, and I definitely think that sometimes his lane allocation was off. The thing that troubles me the most is he had a massive lead. That Gragas gave him a huge lead, right? 3 ganks. The Syndra was really far behind. Did Gross pressure out the mid lane tower? No, he didn't get it. Did he roam bot, pressure that out? No. As a mid laner, if you get a lead like that, it is your job to keep the tempo high. You need to pressure out your tower. If you can't get the mid lane tower, you roam bot. You start looking to invade their jungle, getting vision out, looking for the Lee, work with your jungler. Instead, he just sits mid. He even played like really passively when he had the lead. It was spacing so far away that the Syndra couldn't even trade on him, but he couldn't trade on her when he had the advantage. It really frustrates me to see people that get leads, they're not confident in their own skill, and they don't go for the kills. If someone such as Yukal or Apto had that lead, 100% they're pressuring out the Syndra for solo kills. They're always spacing in and out, in and out. So for Gross, I think in the laning phase, make sure you're clicking more. Click back and forth, making like, as soon as that Syndra's looking to auto down minions, you walk in for the trade. Even if you don't go for the trade, it's about the pressure. It's not about the trade itself. It's about the pressure that you can trade if you want. The Syndra's wary of that, a little bit nervous, can miss a lot of CS. Instead, you sit so far behind that the Syndra goes, "Oh, he's not going to trade on me. He's a bitch. I'll just go and do whatever I want. I'll dictate the pace of the lane. I'll push it. I'll roam." It needs to be the other way around. You need to be the one saying to the Syndra, "Okay, I'm dynamic. Maybe I'll go for a trade here. Maybe I won't. But you have to respect me. Koreans in laning phase are always moving back and forth in and outside of the trading space. So they move into the trading space to make sure the Syndra backs up, then they move back out. Move in, out. Because you're on TF with alpha movement speed, you have so much more movement speed than your opponents. You really need to be making sure that you're doing this in lane. It's a fundamental flaw that you're making the mistake of doing, and it's going to cost you laning phases and CS advantages. There's definitely potential for you though. I can see in Twisted Fate, you know how to play Twisted Fate, but I think you need to go and watch a couple of reviews and games of Apto, of how he plays a lane, because it's so much differently to how you play it. I also think you could probably take advantage of running Ignite, going really aggressive. I mean, that Syndra you could have solo killed so many times. And when it comes to your build path, look, I know you like Lich Bane because it's fun. It does more damage once you hit one item spike, but it's going to cost you a lot of games as opposed to Rod of the Ages, Lich Bane, Hourglass, Void, Deathcap. Then you sell your boots for Ludens or Rapid Fire. I've also heard you don't like running Rapid Fire Cannon. I think Rapid Fire is a great item right now. In about 10 or 20% of your games, when you can't get onto the enemy carries, the Hourglass is deemed useless. Rapid Fire is actually really good. I would recommend you give it a try. So that's about it for me, boys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.